Mr. Martinetti was a sort of an ageing music hall artist, and Mrs. Martinetti was on a sort of a ladies' club for music hall artists.
Hello, come in.
Oh, I do so long for spring. It smells divine in here. Where's Beau?
Let me take your coat.
Oh, don't mind him.
Excuse me. Well, at least if I collapse, I'll know there's a doctor in the house.
Of course I'm married, and we all have our little dramas from time to time. But I thought they got on well.
I'm looking into the wings. I can't even see Lily now.
No.
She's run off.
It's your worst nightmare as a performer.
Just before her entrance. I could not believe it.
Oh, no one in the audience even noticed.
Yes, I'm quite sure you were wonderful.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Isn't he a dear?
So, who's for a game of whist?
Oh, certainly, yes.
We stayed until around 1:30. But Paul was still under the weather, and darling Belle suggested that we stay the night. That was so like her. But I insisted on getting him home. I didn't want to bother her. I just wish we'd stayed. But I suppose he would have found his cue another night.
Crippen made sure he put on this show of love and affection when the Martinetti couple came over to 39 Hilldrop Crescent for dinner. But it was all a mask. The events that would unfold would see one of the most notorious killers of the 20th century flee across the Atlantic to Canada. With him would be his mistress, Ethel Leneve, who had disguised herself as a boy. The desperate duo would be pursued by one of Scotland Yard's finest, who was determined to bring them in. Camden, January the 31st, 1910. In a townhouse at 39 Hilldrop Crescent, Dr. Crippen and his wife were joined by the Martinettis for dinner, followed by an enjoyable game of whist. The Martinettis had been musical performers, just like Belle Elmore, and they left at around 1:30 a.m. And the story of Dr. Crippen began.
You've been so sweet.
Nobody knows for sure what happened that night. The supposition is Dr. Crippen murdered Cora Crippen by giving her something to drink.
There are two theories. A shot was heard, and he may have shot her. But in the body was found traces of hyoscine.
Hyoscine was used to calm mental patients in very small amounts. Dr. Crippen had ordered a substantial amount of hyoscine from the local chemist.
The truth is, we simply don't know what happened next. A large dose of hyoscine can have varied effects, especially when mixed with alcohol. Belle likely became frantic, delirious even. Some neighbors reported hearing gunshots and screams coming from the direction of Crippen's house that night, so maybe Crippen panicked and shot her. Those reports were unconfirmed, however, so it's possible that she simply fell unconscious, slipped into a coma, and died. What is certain is that Belle was never seen again after that night. The next morning, Crippen went to work as usual, and when he returned home, the rest of his plan was put into action.
To the Committee of the Music Hall Ladies Guild. Dear friends, forgive me a hasty letter and any inconvenience I may cause you. But I have just had the bad news of the illness of a near relative. And at only a few hours' notice, I am obliged to go to America. Yours faithfully, Belle Elmore.
Dr. Crippen put it out that Cora had been called back to America. Ethel moved in to Dr. Crippen's house.
And soon Ethel Lenabe is seen wearing Mrs. Crippen's furs, she's wearing Mrs. Crippen's jewellery.
Crippen may have thought that all his problems had vanished in an instant. But thankfully, Belle was better liked by her friends than by her husband. Despite Crippen's hopes, Belle's friends had not forgotten her.
It just isn't like Belle. I mean, not even a note.
You're right. The thing is, she's been unwell. Yeah, I just heard from my people this morning. Her lungs, so you see...
Oh, the poor thing. And for a singer too, how terrible.
I don't know that it's as bad as all that. She said it wasn't.
So, you have heard from her?
What?
Belle told you that.
Yeah, but... Well, she's up in the mountains. Out in California, the wild's up there, so, you know...
Well, you send her our best wishes. She'll be back in fine voice soon, I'm certain. Our Belle's a fighter.
Oh yeah, she sure is.
All of a sudden, Dr. Crippen decided that the story he had concocted of his wife's urgent trip to Los Angeles was no longer sufficient on its own. He told her friends that she'd been taken seriously ill herself and was not expected to survive. Then he sent a telegram to Mrs. Martinetti to inform her of Cora's death and cremation. Suspicions were beginning to grow amongst Belle's friends. One friend who noticed her disappearance was the famous strongwoman Kate Williams, who went by the stage name Vulcana. Not somebody you'd want to be on the wrong side of.
Her act in the music hall was as a strong woman, lifting great weights of barbells and that sort of thing. Vulcana came back from America. They had looked to try and catch up with what had happened to Cora and so on, but had drawn a complete blank. So they discussed it amongst their friends and then went to Scotland Yard to express their doubts.
The London community with which Dr. Crippen and his wife had become friendly had been rocked to the very core just over a decade earlier. The well-known actor, William Terrace, was stabbed outside the Adelphi Theatre. His killer was another actor, Richard Archer Prince, who had been his friend. Prince was declared insane and sent to Broadmoor Asylum. His sentence angered the theatrical community. Sir Henry Irving went so far as to say, "Terrace was an actor, so his murderer will not be executed." The William Terrace murder, though, had been a relatively straightforward affair for the London police. The Crippen mystery would be far more challenging. But fortunately, a man called Walter Dew was on the case. He was no stranger to shocking murder, having been one of the team that tried to capture Jack the Ripper 20 years earlier.
Dew was only a young policeman at the time of the Jack the Ripper murders. He joined 1882, about 6 years before the murders. And he said that talked about the tension in the area, and you'd only got to say Jack the Ripper and you could get an explosive incident. And when some lunatic runs down the street shouting, "I am Jack the Ripper, I am Jack the Ripper," immediately a lynch mob is formed. Dew and other policemen grab hold of this lunatic, have barricade themselves in a house, waiting for reinforcements, while outside a lynch mob is howling to get hold of this person and string them up on the nearest lamp.